go. Triathletes, you are now more than likely back swimming, and if you haven't, you're probably at least at the stage of getting back into it. And there's one thing that we're seeing a lot with triathletes at the moment, and that's just picking up those little shoulder niggles, that little bit of discomfort. And it might not be stopping you from swimming, but that tightening and discomfort might be limiting you. And if it isn't yet, it might start to creep in again as the more volume you do with your swimming increases, particularly now with pools and whatnot opening back up again. But there is something that you can do, and it's a key thing. It's like medicine that we prescribe to triathletes, particularly related to strength, which A, stops this from happening, B, ensures it doesn't come back again, and C, it will actually also improve potentially your performance with your swim. Now, usually if you go to typical maybe physiotherapy or whatnot, you'd be given rotator cuff exercises. Now, they're important muscles for your shoulders, but they don't lay the foundation. Most of your problems that will be linked to your swimming will be related to a lack of strength in what we call your scapular stabilizers, the muscles that are located around the bony bit in your shoulder lower down. Now, we want to share with you in a moment one type of key exercise that you can do to strengthen that area, which will stabilize your shoulder better. And if you've got stability through there, just like with your back and everything we speak about, you're going to have less niggles, less pain, and actually probably be able to put more force through that shoulder, get a better pull. However, one really key thing to understand is with people, particularly triathletes that we see, the thing that will limit you isn't just the fact that you aren't doing the exercise. You could start doing this exercise, but if you don't execute the right technique, you'll just be reinforcing the same bad habits that are creating the shoulder imbalance at the moment. So we've got to make sure that you're using the right technique on these type of exercises to make sure you're getting the benefits. Here's how we do it. So, stroke. If you imagine you were swimming and maybe you had a coach next to you, if for whatever reason, and they wouldn't, but let's say that coach tells you when you pull through the water, as the arm goes into recovery, just to create the recovery by really bending the arm back and moving at the elbow, obviously you'd have crap recovery, you'd have poor propulsion, you just wouldn't do it, would you? Instead, what the coach would say to correct it would be, think about pulling and rotating back at the shoulder blade. So that rotation as we come through into recovery occurs here at the shoulder blade, as opposed to here at the elbow. And it's exactly the same when it comes to doing strength training on these types of pulling exercises. At the moment, your strength, you'll try and move that object by bending a lot at the elbow, trying to use your arms, your biceps to curl that weight back. Whereas instead, we actually want to be using these scapular stabilizer muscles to pull the shoulder blade back. We'll still use our arm a bit, but fundamentally using the shoulder blade to pull back into that position. Just as we would do, like I said, if we're in that stroke and we're trying to pull and rotate that shoulder blade back as we come through into recovery. So, key tip, when you're in that position on the exercise, think about that position of rotating through at the shoulder blade like you would do when you're in the water. That way, we strengthen the right muscles that we need to improve strength on to create stability through the shoulder, those muscles being down here. And we minimize the risk of you getting any further complications with the niggles in the shoulders. You could swim without any of the distractions of tightness and whatnot. You can bulletproof yourself against further problems down the line, while also setting yourself up to be able to create a bit more propulsion through that shoulder.